Alright, hello everyone, this is Morgan Mitchell. The topic that I decided to pick was mindsets. And okay, let's get started. So this first picture I chose for my definition of mindsets. And I chose this because it really makes sense about the whole topic. The real definition of mindsets is the established set of thoughts and attitudes held by somebody. And this picture relates to that because it shows how even though you can tell somebody whatever you want, if they have a certain type of mindset, that it will, no matter what, not get through to them unless they're more of an open person. But usually that doesn't happen. The next one is the history behind mindsets and who pretty much found the concept, and there's not really much on the history of mindsets because it's kind of, I think it's a new topic and concept because there was not a lot about it. But this lady, Carol, she was actually the only person that pretty much wrote a complete book on mindsets and did a ton of research at Harvard and Stanford on it, and also Columbia. So she was a professor of psychology, and she wrote books and taught classes on the differences in a fixed mindset versus a growth mindset. So the difference pretty much is, the biggest difference that you can see in these mindsets is that a fixed mindset is like stopped, and they're also really scared of failure. And then a growth mindset really doesn't have a fear of failure. They're more of like a growing type of person. And so yeah, she's pretty credible because she has done a ton of research behind it and wrote a huge book on it also. And then she in her career focused on why people succeed and how to be successful. That's what a lot of her books are on. That's a lot of her papers, and that's pretty much all of her research based around that exact thing. She also wrote a book called Self Theories, which was named the Book of the Year by the World Education. So she's pretty well versed in mindsets and why we should, sorry, not why we should, but also what it's all about and what the difference is between people and our different mindsets. And this is another concept that I decided to do my compare on and contrast on. So the one with the camera is a visual learner, which a lot of people actually are visual learners, and they learn by watching instead of actually, well, they do learn by doing and watching instead of reading or listening. They're more of like they have to see it in front of them. And then the mindsets are on the side. It's the fixed mindset is in a stop sign because it tells how they think that everything is based off of birth and that you can't change how you think or how you learn. And then the growth mindset is on the other side, and it's going both ways because they really think that you can, it's not predetermined and you can go beyond what you ever thought you could do. So yeah. And then these are fixed mindset and growth mindset, and these are the pretty much the differences between them and just bulletin points and notes on them. And then the next slide, these are my 3 examples, and I put the link to this really interesting website that talked about the three different examples and stories. So the first one was about students and how they faced failure, and that was actually in the research that girl Carol did in her studies. And so I put a picture of them, and then I also put a picture of math, and that was a story about how this person believed that they just were not a math person and that how it stopped them from growing further. And then the last story is by Leah Culver, and her running story. And she, instead of thinking that she can't be a runner, or she can't do this, or she can't meet a certain time set, she actually changed her goals and her mindset, or his, I think it's a girl, changed the mindset and actually ran every day and never missed a day. So yeah. And then the last one is the actual picture that I think represents mindsets the best, because it's behind her research between growth and fixed. And there are literally just two types. No one has ever come up with a different type of mindset. So that's pretty much why all of these are based around her research. This concept seems pretty valid because of the real research behind it, and it just especially makes sense in the world just in general, because you can tell between successful people and not successful people. And these are my sources also. So I applied this mindset, I think, in college, because you can either think that you can do all this work and you can push yourself, or you think that you can't. So either way, you're either going to fail or you're going to pass. So there's not really that much of a gray area. And then to go back on the main points was the difference between growth and mindset, and then the broken down into the actual differences, and then how visual is different than mindsets, the history of her, and the problems we have. So, yep.